Welcome back, guys. It's the Gamechanger here. Today we have a transformation, a very dope transformation. My guy's been growing his locks out for 11 years. He found me on social media, blessed me with the privilege of doing the locks. He saw a lot of my other videos and thought, I was the guy for the job, which I think I was too. Very, very strong, amazing hair. Before we get started, though, so one thing I want to address. So somebody commented in my last video and said, your cape is dirty. They saw the white substance on the collar and thought, okay, his cape is dirty. I didn't like the comment, especially when you don't know what you're talking about. So when you see the white substance on my cape, it's talc. I put talc on before the haircut, during the haircut. The reason why I put it on pre-cut on the cape is so that the hair doesn't really stick to the cape and to the skin. Talc actually helps the hair. It absorbs moisture and it kind of keeps the hair from clinging to the cape. So the reason I do it is for comfort. So, that was misinformation. So if you guys see the white powder early in the cut, just know that I do that before cuts just to keep it nice and comfortable for the client. We're going to talk about thinning areas, debulking, how to work with density, different density areas. His hair is less dense in the front. He has a lot of thin spots in the front and in the crown area. How to transition the hair when the client has had locks for so long, their hair it stands up. It's untrained. He has a lot of swirls in the back, different growth patterns. So I'll show you guys how to work with that. He's getting a high taper also. We're also going to talk about the hard line system. Why I put the hard line in, the primary and secondary line. It's just a preference why I do it, and I'll actually go over that with you guys. And I'm going to freestyle this while I do it. So if it's any other things I see while I do it, I'll explain it to you. Also, I'll show you the beard this time too. I'll show you some tips on the beard. So right now I'm zooming in so you can see the locks. So what I do is when I'm cutting the locks off, I'm twisting counterclockwise away from usually the way the hair is locked. And what I'm doing is I'm seeing where the hair locks at last, so I can cut that. So I can cut the hair there first. I like to keep the lock intact. Clients like to take it home with them, and then after I do that, I comb the hair out. See, it's a lot of thin spots, right? I want to make sure when he leaves, he's comfortable, he's confident, and he doesn't leave looking like, damn, I'm a little insecure about it. So my job is to work around those thin spots, right? A great barber can manipulate the hair, the scalp, and the hair's density to make sure that no matter how thin that client's hair is, it blends well. Now, I'm not God. I'm not a magician, so I can't make him grow hair, but I can take the hair that he has and manipulate it to make it look like one smooth piece, if that makes sense, all right? See, he has some thinner spots on the edge up. The cut, this tutorial is primarily going to be on one side because both sides are the same with the thinning. And I just like to focus on one side. My lighting is bad when I turn this way. So that's why a lot of my tutorials are one-sided. Because I'm teaching, I'm saying? I'm not really just showing the, I'm saying? I'm not just giving you a show. I'm teaching a lesson. Now, first thing I do, he's getting a 1.5, but so that I can see where the hair is thin, so I can study the hair and consult with myself about what I'm working with. I start with a 2, right? Then I'm going to wash his hair, a plastic 2 on a magic clip. Keep up with me. Then after a plastic 2, after I wash his hair and get it to lay down, he has a great texture. Now this is an over curly pattern. My last tutorial was a loose wave pattern, right? Over curly means when the hair comes out, that's epidermis, the outer layer of the skin. The first thing it does is want to recoil back in, right? So his hair curls straight to the scalp. Wash his hair, manipulate the scalp. The reason why I wash is one, to clean it, and also to manipulate the hair. When you wash over curly hair, you can kind of control it better, right? So I'm laying it down. Then I'm going to come with a 2 on my detachable Andy Super ZR. Then once I manipulate that hair again by combing it through, tapering it, then I'll come with the 1.5. Be very careful. Now, the reason you probably like, why did you cut it down so many times? See, now this is with the 2 before I put the 1.5 on. See, nice curl pattern. I can comb through it. Hair's still thin, but it's starting to lay better, right? I'm manipulating the hair. The reason why is very important. The reason why I do so many guards, because although they're all 2 guards, a plastic 2 is higher than a metal 2. I repeat, a plastic 2 is higher than a metal 2. So that plastic 2 kind of helps me kind of see where I'm working. Now, see, the metal 2, I can kind of see these less dense spots better, so I can know where to apply less pressure, more pressure. The thicker the hair, the more pressure I can apply with the clipper. Hope that makes sense. The less dense area, I'm a little looser and less firm when I apply pressure to cut that section down. All right, that's why. And then I'll come back with the 1.5 once I get an even better view to make their hair the desired length. You know, it's all systematic, man. I like to work with a system. It's science. You know, when you combine science and mathematics with barbering, you create greatness. All right, so that's why I kind of do. That's why I do what I do. I like to explain it so you guys just don't think I'm doing something. And you probably see, okay, right here, like more dense, right? But then he has like this little archway from one corner to one corner right there that's thin. I apply less pressure there. And now, okay, shout out to my neighbor Urati. I'm gonna put a link for her Instagram. This is I think it's it's argan oil that she has, but it's a nice oil for the client's hair. Now, the reason why I don't want to cut his hair dry, so I apply a little bit of lubrication to his scalp, so that it doesn't clog my clippers, but yet it still lubricates and replenishes it with minerals that I took out when I washed it. Okay. Yeah, so you guys might think my system is excessive, but it works. It's proven to work, and it doesn't take much time. You know, I can do this haircut if I wasn't recording in about easy 45, maybe 50 minutes to an hour if I didn't wash and lock. But the cut itself doesn't take long. Now, I did the primary line. I missed that footage, so I'm about to show you guys me doing it right here. Primary line is the first line I put. I balled it with my Babyliss FX Gold clippers. Then my secondary line, I use my Andes Masters or my Magic Clip to create a second line. Okay, Devontae, okay, Gamechanger, why do you do a hard line? It's harder to take that line out later. Not really. The hard line is for symmetry, right? I could easily just kind of flick those lines in there, but it won't be symmetry. One line might be a little jagged. One side might be a little jagged. The other side might be a little straighter. When I hard press those lines like an edge up in there, now the fade will come out symmetric because the lines that I inserted from my template are symmetric. Very important. I hope if you're not catching everything I'm saying, just rewind it. But everything I'm saying is very important. All right. So after I get my primary lines in, what I'll do now is I'm debulking. Debulking is when I thin out a certain area, right? My philosophy is this: the lighter the area, the easier to fade, right? So if I'm trying to just go in and fade an area that's real thick and bulky, it'll be very hard to transition the area into a very smooth fade. So when I debulk by making that area lighter, right, or thinner, then it'll be easier for me to fade that. And see that crown he has? His crown is thinner. You can see more of his scalp is less dense. I debulk a little higher with a larger guard to kind of fade that in or to blend that in as I go. And it'll all come together once I cut this down with a 1.5. Trust me, it's all science, and it'll make sense as I do it, okay? So now I'll come with my 1.5 on my Andes Masters. With my Walls Magic Clip. I apologize. These are Wall Magic Clips. Same thing. Now I'll just debulk a little lower, right? And I'll use the corner of the clippers. You want to work down when you fade. It'll make it much easier, right? Especially for beginning barbers. A lot of you beginning barbers, the reason why this system is working is because it's pretty much foolproof. As long as you don't rush. Look at my hand placement, right, on my clippers. Thumb on top of the neck. Then my pointing finger is my index finger is on the back of the neck of the clippers, and the other fingers fall in line, and it's a loose grip, not a very firm grip on the clippers. A nice smooth stroke, not choppy strokes, and I comb. My last 15 or so tutorials, you will not see me use a brush because I like to space the hair out. A brush lays and clumps the waves together. A comb spaces the hair and lets you work and fade, right? Let you become a technician. All right, so I go 2, 1.5, then I'll go 1 on my Magic Clip that you see me have right now. Then I'll use my Andes Masters, open and close, rotate the lever, and then I'll use my 1/16 guard. Again, I'm giving a lot of information. Like I'm really just running through this, but I'm saying everything that's necessary for you to achieve this. This can be an intimidating cut, you know. So you can do this cut and the cut come out good, but can you leave making the client look like they never had locks when they came in? That's the magic of it, right? You can give them a good haircut, but you don't want there to be any evidence that the client came in without having a haircut in 11 years. That's the science behind it. All right. So you guys watch, and like I said, okay, if you look at the back of his neck, a lot of different growth patterns going to the side. Density right there, very thick density. Is density right above the occipital bone, right? What I'm doing is I'm just debulking certain areas. What I'm doing, this is where my craftsmanship come in. I use all the techniques that I have. I comb through. I use the corner of the clipper, the side of the clipper. And then I get this fade in primarily. And once we get the fade in primarily, then I'll edge it up and I'll come back and touch up. I always touch up at the end. I'm giving a lot of information right now, but it's very important. See, now I have my Andy's Masters. Same, look at my hand placement. I don't choke the clippers. I don't want to choke them out, right? A nice loose grip. I control the clippers, but I'm not overbearing. It's like when you're in a relationship, right? You want to have good communication with your spouse. Certain things you might be firm on, but it's always respect, and you're never overbearing, right? No one likes an overbearing person, so clippers don't like it either. Clippers don't work right when you grip them too hard. All right, so you guys watch me work that out, and I'll come back when it's time for the next step. So same thing with the front. I forgot to get me putting the primary line in, but I'm phantom doing it so you guys can see how it will look. And then I'll make the secondary line about a half an inch above that. Now, what's important about this, right? So even though I'm about to taper the sides, temple, I'm also going to debulk to where that side transitions in well with those thin spots on the corner he has. And you'll see what I mean. So when I debulk, I'll debulk at the top of the temple more to kind of make this all transition well. I'll show you as I do it so you can get what I mean. So now, same steps. Put the primary line in, secondary line in. Then I'll fade the the primary line out. I say it a lot, so I don't know if you guys understand what I said, but make sure this section I'm fading right here, you do not take it away. I've seen barbers do the two line method, because I didn't create it, but you know what I'm saying? I've seen it. They literally just balled that out again with different clippers. That is a very important section of the fade because it brings it all together. That's why we have to transition well. We have to fade it well because you won't notice why your haircut looks a little chunky and bulky at the end, but that's why all these little steps matter. All right, debulking here, debulk behind the ear. Hair usually grows thicker around the ears, and some people, he has thicker hair around his ears, and even right there in that section right there, I debulk with the tool. Debulking is very, very important, you guys. Like, I can't explain it to you. It's just, it brings the cut together. Hair so dense. Just imagine this, right? You're literally a fade. Any cut that requires a fade, you're transitioning area. So if you don't transition a wide berth of area, right? If you don't transition a large section of hair, when you taper one small area, the rest will look clumpy, right? I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. All right, that's why when you see me debulking with larger guards, I go so far back because I'm not taking hair off, I'm just thinning hair out. It's like using thinning shears on a different texture of hair. All right, same thing. I comb every few strokes. Then now I'm using my one on my magic clip. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. You guys watching. Then after I use the one, then I'll come back with my 1/16. And it's going to be, I'll point to when it's time for me to debulk. But you see his edge up is a little thin right there. What I'll do is I'll actually debulk that area too. So you guys watch. See, like using the corner of the clippers, right? You don't have to use the whole blade. Learn to manipulate your clippers to a point to where you don't need to use everything. You know how to use specific parts of your clippers at a certain time. All right? Take care. Like Drake said. See you in a little bit. All right, so right here now that I have the fades in, I'll come back with my 1.5. You see what I'm saying? And the hair is, I've had time to comb it, manipulate it. It's getting used to laying down. Now I come with the 1.5 because I've got the fade in and I've been able to spot and do my research to find all of my thin areas. Okay? Yeah, look, check this out. I'm sitting in my room, right, with this lavalier mic in my hand. It's raining outside. I got these bay windows in front of me. I feel like a clinical psychologist, or I feel like a professor giving a lecture. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this, but I'm feeling myself right now. Maybe that's why I'm talking so much. It's a vibe. It's an energy. I hope I'm transitioning that energy from myself into y'all. You feel me? All right, so back to it. Now, it's almost time to work. See, right here, same thing with the edge up, right? I see that his hair grows thinner at the crown and at the frontal lobe of his head, okay? See how I skip over certain areas? Oh, this is the trick right here. Forget what I was talking about. This is the trick. See this? This is hot lather. Hot lather is shaving cream you put into a latherizer and it makes it a nice hot foam. It feels great to the client, but the secret of this is, check this out. Check this out, y'all. It's finna lay his hair down smooth. It's a process. Then look at me. See how I'm combing in? A wave is a compressed curl. Every over curly hair client, every black person, I'm gonna just say every black person, right? They have waves. Now, how do you manipulate those waves to lay uniformly? See what I'm doing? I'm taking the comb. I've slathered lather on his head, right? But now I'm manipulating it. I'm giving him uniform waves in a sense, right? I'm letting it lay down. Then I come back with the warm rag for about 15 to 20 seconds. Let that water soak into the cuticles, the outer layer of the hair. Let that water swell the hair up. All right? It's all about manipulation. Don't say I ain't never gave y'all nothing for free. You ain't got to pay for this game. All you got to do is use it to better yourself, to better your cuts. Then this is my brush, right? I'm taking the comb. I'm taking the towel, right? And I'm letting the towel lay their hair down. It's all about manipulation. The greatest barbers can manipulate the scalp and the hair the best. Simple as that. And they're patient, they're calm. Now it's time for the edge up. You know the rules. We ain't got to push him back. He thinning. Now I'm going to debulk the edge up. Comb over razor. Razor over comb. Right? To lay the hair down because his hair is still curly because it's longer in the front. I lay it down, thin it out. It's a magic, man. I'm a magician, but I'm not a magician. I'm human like you. All right? See that? Boom. If you see how that hair, now see how that hair lays down? Then I stretch the skin from the top and bottom to keep it even. And I'm light with my razor. I hold it at about a 45 to 90 degree angle. And I'm very lightly. Hand placement is very important. It'll be easier if you guys use a weighted razor handle, which means like the head of the razor handle is heavy, so it puts pressure down with you. I might be creating a razor handle, so I think I should. What y'all think? All right. And I'm just manipulating the scalp. I'm washing the corners. I'm seeing where the hair grows thickest at, and that's where my edge up will be. All right. I'll be back in a second. You guys watch. Oh, it's almost time for the beard, so I'll see you soon. Okay, so before we get to the beard, it's time to get the back of the neck, the nape of the neck. Same thing. I find where the hair grows thickest, and I keep it nice and natural. One thing you notice about me, if you watch me do that edge up just now, if you made it this far in the video, I'm very meticulous, right? Little details matter to me. I like to comb the little hairs out, so when the client brush their hair, the hair doesn't hang over. Little things, all right? So when you go behind the ear, same thing. Use the corner of the clipper, retouch the edge up. I'll do the same thing on this side, comb it out towards where I'm edging. I don't really want to comb it down. I want to comb it at an outward angle, if that's the way the hair grows. If the hair grows in, I'll comb it in, and I'll adjust accordingly. Now, once I get this edge up in, I probably don't know if I got it on video, but I always go back and find little spots in the haircut that I need to refix or readjust. Another tip I can give you guys, take a picture of your haircut before you're done with it. It'll show you spots that your naked eye can't see. It'll show you darker spots, denser spots, and that way you can work those areas out. Trust me, it works. I use it all the time. I use the technique all the time. All right, now it's about time for the beard. After I touch up a few spots in this back taper, I'll see you soon. All right, so now it's time for the bonus sauce. I never show y'all this. All right, well, I made a video about this, but all right, so now I debulk the same way, right? I start going down. It's very important when you get to those cheekbones and that beard. He wants to keep his beard full, but I want the beard to fade down like a triangle. The top of the beard edge up should be more flush with the face, and the lower the beard goes, the more it flares out. And the way I achieve that is by debulking. I go with the grain first, right? See how I'm going with the grain? Then I lightly go against the grain. Then I'll transition to my one, but it's all about technique. See that? See right there? I'm not cutting it off. I'm just kind of transitioning it down. I'm making it shorter to longer. All right. Then I come back with my one, kind of taper that. Actually, I didn't put the one on. I just went straight full gusto. But it's like, if you guys want to do it, I think if it's kind of new for you, use the one guard. Still using the comb. Then I come with the gel. Now, when I put the gel on, I put quite a bit on because I want that hair to lay down. Facial hair doesn't really lay flat to the face like hair on the scalp does sometimes, especially when the beard is longer. So when you put more gel, it keeps weight on the hair so that when you raise your edge in it, it kind of lays down. Then I come shape it after that. All right, you guys, stick around, watch me finish that up. Then stick around. You're going to want to see his reaction, and then I'll show you before, how his hair looked before, and then I'll let you see him react, and you'll hear what he had to say about the cut. All right, you guys take care. I appreciate you. Remember, like, subscribe. I appreciate you. Keep watching, keep learning. If it's anything I haven't shown you that you want to see, please leave it in the comments. Other than that, take care. Keep watching though. talk about the cameras, bro. If you don't like it, just say shit. I hate it, bro. I'm damn, all right. It's free.
Yeah, bro.
You good?
Yeah.
Is that what you was expecting? I mean, obviously it was, look, you can't expect it, but shit, is that good?
Yeah, bro.
All right.
I'm good with that.
Perfect. I'm happy you like it, man.